name's Andrew Fuller. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm also the Director of Resilient Youth Australia. We do a survey called the Resilience Survey around Australia. It's an online survey of about 99 questions which measures 40 key predictors of good outcomes for kids. And what we find is about 9% of kids have very high levels of resilience, so between 31 to 40 of those key predictors, and about 34% have good levels, so that's between 20 to 30. And so about 43% roughly are in that good or high range of resilience, which means of course we've got 57% who are not. The survey goes really from school entry, but most of the data that we have so far on over 100,000 kids has been on kids between about year 3 to year 12. So let's talk about each of those sort of sections, if you like. The first one's year 3 to year 4. In that time, kids are really pretty resilient. They're good, they're connected to school, they're safe at home, they feel good about life, but they are also beset with friendship issues. So we know that bullying peaks really in grade 3, grade 4. And so there are a group of kids who are already sort of on the outer, who feel that they may not succeed at school. In fact, there's a thing called the grade 3 phenomenon, that there are kids who decide that school's not going to be a place they're going to be successful and never recover. So there's certainly some issues to deal with that age range. Relationship issues, certainly, but also a sense of really helping them to be successful. Grade 5 and grade 6 is probably the best of the whole journey throughout school. Kids are incredibly resilient, girls more so than boys, but paradoxically girls do not feel as empowered to change things as boys. So one of the quandaries that we have in our system is that our most resilient young people don't feel empowered to do much to change things. And so one of the things we really have to do is think about how we help grade 5 and grade 6 kids to mobilise their strengths to make a difference. And of course you do that by creating change in the world. And we have a process of doing Students Create the Future. By year 7 and year 8, things start to slip. Relationships fray a bit, motivation starts to decline, as does resilience. And so the kind of swap between primary school and high or secondary school is often injurious, particularly to girls, but it doesn't really benefit anyone particularly well. By year 9 and year 10, we're in the deep slumps. We really find that lots of kids are disengaged, they don't have anyone close that they relate to in terms of adults in their world, and they're most vulnerable for mental health problems. By year 11 and year 12, things start to kind of pick back up, which could be a self-selected group. So the kids who are really, worn out of school may leave by this point. So we need to take that into account. But these students are often sleep deprived and anxious. So what we find is that about 64% of year 12 girls show clinical levels of anxiety disorder, an enormous amount. So we've done research on this area and found really that schools where there's not a transition between primary and high or secondary school, when there's basically a remodelling of the early years of high or secondary school so that it resembles more like a primary school, by year 10, what you get are lower rates of substance abuse, lower rates of delinquency, higher school retention, and higher school marks. And so it's not just an adolescent thing. There's something structurally going on which removes the strength of relationships. So there's again a paradox. When kids are teenagers, they often need more rich, intense, personal relationships. They will learn for teachers they like, and they won't learn for teachers they don't like. And so if you dilute the relationships, then you dilute the learning.